Ultimate Collectibles here. Scorpion is finally in the house. This may be a weird review because I literally just put it together and I haven't even had a chance to take a look at it and enjoy it. And it's been out for a little bit, for about 4 months for other people, but I just got mine today after a long wait. So let's start the review. This is Ultimate Collectibles with a review of the quarter scale XM Scorpion figure. Scorpion, as you know, is a Spider-Man villain. He is not a popular villain, but he is a very popular statue. So XM only made an ES of 350 of these and they sold like fire. And now everyone is trying to get their hands on it now that it is out. I purchased mine over a year ago on eBay from somebody who had a good reputation, and I got a killer price on it. I got it for $900 shipped. And it kept getting delayed, and I was pretty nervous as the eBay user was a middleman, and he kept telling me his supplier is gonna ship it, and I became really worried and frustrated because first of all, it was over 6 months, so my money wasn't protected anymore. Second of all, I didn't know who I was dealing with, and I thought they may be scamming me. Third, mostly, I was afraid I wasn't gonna get at this statue, and I was gonna have to pay twice the price, a flipper price for it. So thankfully, it finally did come in. The guy was very communicative. I need to speak better, talk better, right? And ironically, I get the packing slip today, and the supplier is someone who I buy stuff from regularly. So thanks to both the middleman and the supplier, very happy with the statue. It came in a standard XM box where getting the lid off is like trying to deliver a baby, although I've never done that. Packed very well. Comes with multiple switch outs, as you probably know. Comes with the switch outs for the classic masked suit version, which I have displayed here, and then it has switch outs including the tail and the arms and some of the armor plates for a more modern armored Scorpion, as you see here. And kind of the interesting part of this, I don't know which one I'm going to display. It really ticks me off that they gave two such great options, because the other big issue is the switch outs are so large, there's going to be a lot of storage space needed for these switch outs. Another side note, the package came brand new, but it was dusty, which was kind of new to me. It was very, very dusty. It still is. I still have to clean it a little bit better. But that's how I got the piece. Very happy I got it. I have a whole Spidey villain collection going with probably about 20 pieces lined up. That's actually going to go on the wall behind the camera, and I'll switch and do my reviews later, so Spidey will always be behind us. But very excited, and let's jump right into concept and design. So concept and design, obviously Scorpion, a little lesser known character, but just like most of the XM Spidey villains, they're all doing them the same, kind of a dynamic, menacing pose. I guess there's a few that aren't like that. Mysterio is more of a museum type piece, but they're Venom and Carnage and Sandman and Scorpion, of course, Doc Ock, which I have coming. And there's so many other good ones out there. They're all kind of a dynamic action pose. So here you have Scorpion sitting on top of a bunch of rubble and rock. Maybe the light kind of makes me think this is a city park or something of that nature. He's on the top of a monument. And there's obviously something behind him, or not behind him, pardon me, something below him. He's about to attack, something he's about to jump on. Or he's threatened by. He's in attack position with his tail, the menacing look on both of his portraits. He is definitely ready for battle. I think the pose is done great. I love how the hand is resting right on the rock. The other one's swinging behind him, ready to, you know, throw rocks or candy or something at his villain. I love how they incorporated the fence and the light post, not just the standard rock base. One of the things I really love about this, especially owning like Sandman and Carnage and some of the other big Spidey XM Venom pieces, is the base is very small, so it's very manageable, but it's still elaborate. So I think that is really cool how they are doing both elaborate and small bases for display purposes, obviously, because the #1 challenge we all have as collectors is, where am I going to put this? And every single time I open a statue, I think it's bigger than I thought it would be. That's what she said. This one particularly is not, though. So I think concept and design, XM nailed it. They usually do, especially lately. The whole Spidey villain line seems like it's going down that way. So props to XM on concept and design. So Sculpt. Starting at the rocks, and whenever I do a review and I talk about the sculpt of a base that's very rocky, I'm always undecided. I think that's a good word, because it's very hard to sculpt rocks that look real with the texture. XM, however, I think they did a good job. It does look like real rocks. I say that in a lot of my reviews, and I'm trying to change up the verbiage. They have different pieces in here. I don't know what they're exactly pieces of, but it could be pieces of a sculpture, pieces of another fence or a building. I love the sculpture on the concrete stone pedestal that the lamp is on. And just moving up on the lamp, it's a very cool looking timeless lamp. I love the cracks in the glass. Looks really, really cool. I like how they did that. The fence in the back is pretty standard basic fence. Obviously not really a lot of sculpt to that, but it does look neat. I think it's a nice touch. To me, it might have been an afterthought for them, as what else can we do with this? Probably wasn't, though, as XM is pretty strategic about what they design and how they go. Moving up, Scorpion. So one of the problems they probably ran into is trying to create a classic version and a suited armored version with having only one body for a switch out. So as I said, there's a few armor pieces that stick by magnet. For example, on his chest here, and then his knees, they switch out pretty simply. There's some magnets here. That one you probably can't see. Right here. And you can switch out with an armored version of it. But moving up from the sculpt on his hands, I think they did a good job with some muscle definition buried beneath the suit. I love the texture of this suit and kind of the feel, not only the feel of it physically, but it's kind of like a strong spandex suit that doesn't look too girly on a spider villain. And that's kind of in between the green armor. Moving up, you still see some muscle definition in his torso. If you don't have the armor plate on, you see it in the shoulders. Moving up to his head sculpt, both sculpts are great. I really, really like it, especially for a production piece. The paint, which we're not into, is great, but you can even see his ears behind the mask. Very cool how they did that. And then I love the tails, both tails. So this one is kind of has steel mesh in between the joints. You know, really a robotic tail that flows nicely with the suit. I love his arm guards and his hands. His gloves look very, very good. I'm kind of shortening this review because there are quite a few other reviews of Scorpion done, so I'm not really going to show a lot of new information other people do not have. And I'm only doing the review of this classic suit. I'll show the pictures of the other one, but the other switch outs, but I'm not really going to talk about them too much. Going with paint, so this piece only has about 6 basic paint colors. Obviously the grays and browns and blacks within the rocky base mixed in there really different well. A few different colors of the gray, almost an off-white color to give it some dimension and some texturing. The fence itself has some rustic colors mixed in with the brown, metallic as well. Then the concrete pillar that is destroyed, that the lamp is on, has a few different, very off-white mixed with some grays and some browns in there. Some of those pieces that I'm not sure what they are have the blacks and the browns and the copper kind of mixed in as well. Then the black on the lamppost. So really a good mix of colors done very well, especially for factory paint. You know, considering this was 350 ES, which, you know, some people say isn't a lot. It's a lot more than some of the custom pieces out there. Moving up on Scorpion, focusing on his metallic, his shiny armor first. That's really just about 2 colors in there. It's one solid green color, but there's streaks of black, a lighter black throughout it, which I really like. It gives it dimension and texture, so it's not just very plain. And then the suit part, what I called kind of the spandex looking suit, again, that has some blacks and some darker greens in it, and I love how they were able to keep the paint fresh through the texture and maintain that. And then moving up to his face, great flesh textures in the small part of his face that's showing, the eyebrows and the eyes. And then a lot of people do gums and teeth really well, and XM is no exception. It almost looks like he has a pair of dentures just hanging out there. So that's my quick review on the Scorpion XM piece. It is definitely a winner. It's not a winner that's worth $2,000, so don't pay any of those flipping prices. It'll go down eventually to probably, you know, same price as XM Venom of $1,300–1,400. Has to be an awesome addition to the Spidey line due to the pose. The paint is done really well. The sculpt is done really well, especially on the face. The concept is great. The base saving space is a huge win for me. You know, here's a cool Spidey villain piece that's not going to take up what Sandman did. You could probably fit 3 Scorpions in where Sandman fits, even though Sandman's a very cool statue as well. So if you like the review, I appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe, like, give me a comment. Check out some of my other reviews. Thanks so much.